Mm. Hello and welcome to another live stream. I finally set everything up. Today's idea is to cover some topics that involve the non-calculator portion of the IGCSE exam. Obviously, that's something that's very new for all of you. And what I have in front of me today is the official practice questions that Cambridge has provided. There are lots of topics to cover. I will cover a few topics today. Okay, these are official practice questions from Cambridge. I will be posting a lot of questions as we go on, worksheets as we go on. You can leave a comment if you need more practice questions. Okay, the first topic that Cambridge tells you can come up in the no calculator section is regarding number. Okay, the non-calculator portion of the exam, which is paper 2 for you and paper 1 for the core math candidates. This is the first topic. Okay, let's see what type of questions there are. I will be posting lots of similar questions along the way in this coming month or so. This says the train journey starts at 23:40 and finishes at 6:50. Work out the time taken for the journey. Okay, so these are time questions. I will be posting other time questions later on. Okay, our train journey starts at 23:40 and ends at 6:50. So the intelligent thing to do is to first reach 2400. Okay, how many more minutes? There are 20 minutes to reach 2400. Because why? Because the clock changes at 60. So that's 20 minutes here and then 6 hours and 50 minutes from there on. Okay, that's when you reach 2400 is basically 0000, and then you reach 650. So technically you've taken 6 hours 50 minutes and then plus 20 minutes. That gives you 7 hours and 10 minutes and 10 minutes. Okay, Violet and Wilfred recorded their times to run 200 meters correct to the nearest second. Violet took 36 seconds and Wilfred took 39 seconds. Work out the upper bound of the difference between their times. Okay, so this is limits of accuracy. So let's run 200. Work out the upper bound of the difference between their times. Okay, to the nearest seconds. So 35.5 to 36.5. Those are Violet's upper bounds and lower bounds, and Wilfred's upper bounds and lower bounds are 38.5 to 39.5. Okay, if I want to find the upper bound of the difference between their times, Okay, so I'm going to take the highest time here and the lowest time there, and I'm going to say that the upper bound of the difference could be 4 seconds. Okay, then we have a question on prime factorization. 180 as the product of its prime factors, so 180 2 times 90, 2 times 45, 3 times 15, 3 times 5, and then 5 times 1. So that's 2 square into 3 square into 5. Okay, it says work out, write down a prime number between 30 and 40. So prime numbers are basically, there's a list of numbers, but prime numbers are basically odd, so you can ignore the even numbers that are there. You can ignore 32, 34, 36, 38. Okay, then you decide whether 31 is a prime number, whether it divides with anything else. No, it doesn't really divide with 3 or 7 or any such number, so 31 is a prime number. Okay, that's that. Then work out the highest common factor of of 12a cube and b and 20a square b. So how I calculate the highest common factor is that I do the prime factorization of both of these combined. Let's first tackle the numbers. Okay, so I divide by 2, that gives me 6a cube b and 10a square b square. Then another 2, 5a square b square. Now what's the highest power of a that's available to me? So that gives me 3ab and 5b square. And the highest power available is 3a and then 5b. Okay, so what should the highest common factor be? It should be 4a square b. Then we have questions on Venn diagrams. Those are also part of number. Okay, the Venn diagram shows the number of different students in a class to study physics, maths, and geography. Use a notation to describe the shaded region. Okay, so this it doesn't matter if you have a calculator or not. What I see is that P is entirely outside, and M and G seem to have united. So what I'm going to say is that it's M union G and then intersection with P prime. Okay, what part of M union G is intersecting with P prime? That should appear here. Then it says P intersection G and then union M prime. Okay, so let's first go with P intersection G. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about these two, and I want to unite them with M prime. So what are M prime? These are M primes. Okay, so a union means that you have to add all of them, regardless of whether they're common or not. And this N means that I'm asking you for the number of elements. Okay, so 12 and 10 give me 22. And it says a student chosen, so this is basically a probability question. Okay, that's also part of number for these questions. A student is chosen at random from those studying geography. Find the probability that the student also studies physics or mathematics, or but not both. Physics or mathematics, but not both. So physics or mathematics, but not both. Okay, all of these people either study physics or mathematics, but not both. That's 26 and 30. Oh, sorry, 16 and 20, 23. That's 23 out of, what is the total? Question specify 40. So 23 out of 40. Then on this exam, what you can have is a lot of calculation questions relating to fractions. I will be putting up some worksheets on my Google Drive. You can ask for access as we go on. Okay, this says without using a calculator, work out 2 over 9 divided by 5 over 6, 2 over 9 multiplied by 6 over 5. Changing divide into multiply reciprocates. Okay, so that looks like it's 4 over 15. Then we have sort of a simultaneous sort of question. It says figs cost 43 cents each. Lyra has $5 to buy some figs. Not really a simultaneous, just an equation based question. Find the largest number of figs Lyra can buy and the amount of change in cents she receives. Okay, so well, let's keep same units. So let's say I have 500 cents. I need to divide by 43. Okay, the closest that I think I can get is 43 times 10 is 430, right? And then if I add another 43, I get, I think, 473. I can't add any more. That's 11 as 473. Still a bit of trial and error, but that's what you have to do. 500 minus 73 is 27. So I buy 11 figs and I have 23 cents each. 27 cents. Sorry, my bad. 27 cents. Okay. Then you have some more upper bound limits of accuracy questions. Let's do these. This says Neha has a piece of ribbon of length 23 centimeters. Correct to the nearest cm. From this ribbon, she cuts off a piece of its length 87 millimeter. Correct to the nearest millimeter. Okay, work out the lower and upper bound of the length of the remaining ribbon, giving your answer in centimeters. So what is the longest ribbon that I have? I have 23.5 as the longest ribbon and 22.5 as the shortest ribbon. Okay, from this ribbon she cuts off a piece with a length of 87 millimeters. Now since everything is in the other thing is also in millimeters, what I will need to do is I will need to change this to millimeters. That's 225 millimeters. 1 centimeter is 10 millimeters, so 235 millimeters. Okay, then the length that I've cut is either 86.5 or 87.5. I want to find out what is the lower bound and the upper bound of the length remaining for the ribbon. So the lower bound will be that my ribbon was as short as possible and then I cut as long as possible is what I cut out from it. Okay, so 225 minus 87.5. Okay, how do you subtract? You borrow first. 5, and subtract 7, we can't subtract 3 and 137.5. Okay, so that's the lower bound. Then I could have the ribbon as long as possible and I need to subtract this shortest possible, cut a piece that I've taken from it. Okay, gives you 145.5. I hope those are correct answers. We'll check in a bit. There are answers as we go on. Then it says in A intersection B, and I want complement. What's A intersection B? That's this part. The complement of that would be this, this, that. So 25 plus 15 is 40. And we have a lot of questions actually. I should have checked my working on the way, but I haven't, so that's fine. Okay, shade the correct region in each diagram. Q union P prime. So I want to union Q. Q is here and here, and I want to union it with P prime. P prime is here and here. So this and that, and the entire thing outside. Okay, it's just that P shouldn't be shaded. Then K union L, so unite K and L, and you wanted to intersect it with M prime. M prime is whatever is outside M. So again, this is what your answer would look like. Everything outside M, no, sorry, and intersecting with K union L, so this part. Okay, K union L intersection M prime. Then this is Alex, Bobby, and Chris share strawberries in the ratio Alex, Bobby, Chris. Chris receives 12 strawberries. Okay, Chris receives 12, so this is into 6. Okay, so if this got multiplied with this 6, then 7 also needs to be multiplied with 6. 7 is the sum of the ratios. They have a total of 42 candies between them. This is a recurring decimal, and I will have to check this answer, but 0.272727 should equal 27 over 99. Okay, and that can give you 9 over 11. I think that should be the right answer. I will have to check this one because this is a relatively new topic for me. Yeah, 27 over 99, that's fine. The trick is that whenever you have recurring decimals, if they're just repeating on their own and there's no other non-recurring decimal, non-recurring number next to it, what you can simply do is you can put the recurring decimals over the number of over nines, and how many nines is the number of digits in the recurring decimal will tell you. So if it was 27, there were 2 digits, so I did 27 over 99. Okay, work out the lowest common multiple then. So 3 times. Then 5 times, that's 25, sorry. And then a 2 and then a 5. So that's 10 and that's 15. So that makes a total of 150. A company makes 40,600 headphones in 1 year. Write this number in words. Simple. Six hundred. In standard form, so 1 decimal place, or 1 place before the decimal. 4.06, and how many decimals have I moved? 1, 2, 3, and 4 into 10 power 4. Okay, now standard form is a very tricky topic when it comes up in the calculator section. Okay, this is also simple, so 0.04 will be 0.4 over 99. That's 4 over 99. Okay, now this is the standard form that I was talking about. It gets trickier with some questions. I will be posting a series of questions for standard form later on. What I can see in this is that I have a lot of things common. So 2.1 is common, and so is 10 power p. If I take both of these common, I'm left with 1 plus 2.1 into 10 power minus 1. Okay, I hope you understand that. What I've done is I've basically broken the powers into 10 power p into 10 power minus 1, and then I've pulled out a common. So that common has sort of simplified things for me. That gives me 1 plus 2.1 divided by 10 is 0.21. So that's 2.1 into 10 power p into 1.21. So what's 2.1 into 1.21? I think I may have complicated this, but I can do it in an easier way. Let's do it in an easier way. Let's not just take 10 power p as common, and that sort of simplifies the question. So that becomes 1 that becomes minus 10 power p 2.1 plus 0.21 0.31. That's the easy way of doing it. 2.31 into 10 power p. Okay, shade the region, D complement, and you want to union with E intersection F, and the complement of that E intersection F is this part. So the complement of that would be everything outside, and I want to union it with D prime I think that should be the case. No, sorry, A intersection F. So that would be outside this, and you wanted to union with D complement. So D complement is this region outside D, so that would include this. Okay, that is what I think is the correction. There are ways of, there's a particular method to do it where you mark ticks and blocks and so on, that you can then uh, take a common, or sort of shade the common part, or both the common and the uncommon parts. Okay, it says find the highest common factor of 36 and 84. 36 and 84, let's divide by 2 first. 9. Okay, so it's, oh, okay, it's, yeah, my bad. So 4 into 3, 12. That would be 37 over 99. Had fallen, so it's gone into the negative, so minus 5 degrees centigrade. Ella's height is 175, correct to the nearest 5 centimeters, write down the upper bound of, so you add half of your limit of accuracy, so that's going to give you 177.5. I think that's the last page. By the time that the journey ends, so you go forward 5 hours, and that gives you 9 plus 5 is 14, and that gives you 14:15. Okay, and since this is very close to an hour, what I can do is I can go forward and subtract 6 minutes out of it. So I go forward 1 hour, then I subtract 6 minutes, that gives me 15:09. Okay, that's the easy way of thinking about it. Q intersection R prime, Q intersection R is here and here. I want the complement of that, which means I want all of these areas, and I want to union it with P, so P is also present here. I shade all of this, very similar to the question that I just did for you earlier. Okay, then says divide in the ratio 7:5. That's easy. 7 over 12 multiplied by 24. You take the sum of ratios, this is the denominator. So that's 14, and the other person would get 10. Okay, those are the questions. Let's quickly check if we got the answers right. I may have made a mistake, I can't be absolutely sure. So 14 and 10 was right. Yeah, the shading was also right. 1509 was also right. Did I answer 177.5? Yeah, and then minus 5, 37 over 99 and 12. Minus 5. 12, yeah, all of those were fine. 4 over 99 was also there. 2.31 into 10 power p was also correct. Let's go to 15 and check out. 4.06 into 10 power 4. Yeah, that was also correct. I had shaded correctly as well. 40,600. 150 was also there. 42 was also there, I think. It's 42, one of my answers. Yeah. And then we had this shading, that was also correct. 40 and 144.5 and 137.5. I'm just checking my answers quickly so that we can move on to the next topic. Yeah. Yeah. That was also fine. Was 7 correct? Yep, that was also correct. These seem to be wrong. 13.75 and 14.85. Let's go back and check. 13.75 and 14.85. Oh, they're in centimeters. 14.85. I'm getting 55. Oh, I missed the 4. Yep, I think I've done it wrong. 2, 1, 14 minus 6 is 8. So, and these have to be changed to centimeters. Okay, I'll probably lose 2 marks here. Yep, the rest of the things were fine. I hope this was productive for you. I will be back with the next topic in the next video. Thank you.